Good evening, everybody. We're going to continue with our study of why we do what we do. We had a boiler installation from a building department perspective. We had a boiler installation from electrical perspective, and we're going to continue with that. And I would like to introduce to you a boiler installation with a Department of Air Resources perspective. It's another jurisdiction of New York City. It was created in 1973. And just about now, they're going to change some rules. But until now, we worked with 1973 rules, which pretty old. So I'd like to point it out to you. When we start the job, the first thing that we have to do is to make sure that what goes on the job is the same as the engineer intend to. And how do we do that? We take care of using electricity. Wrong slide. We have a work permit that's being issued before anybody walks in the boiler room. And that work permit has the information that we're looking for in order for us to know what do we need to install on the job in order to apply by or go by the engineer's rules and specifications. And so the first thing, we want to make sure that the boiler is the right one. And how do we know that? Foreman, please make sure that project manager provide you with that permit and that information. Ask them, what boiler am I installing here? Not the boiler that is in the basement, but what do we need to install? In my life, I never had an incident where we installed the wrong boiler. That didn't happen, but we're still young. Anything can happen, so please make sure that this is what we install and that we're working in the right building. Now, the next thing is the burner. And when we go to the burner, when that burner comes in the crate, at the time of delivery, you really don't know what you're getting. If you could check the paperwork before you start uncrating, that's great. But if not, you're down, you brought it down. It's very important that you will see what burner model you are putting in. Webster, PowerFlame, IC, MMG, DLG, those numbers are very important. Right here we have an MMG 42P. This job is 8787 Hillside Park, Hillside Avenue. Who did this job? Mark? No?
Yeah, Mark. It's 8787 171 Street.
It's 171, I see. Okay, so this is the job that this permit is from. Are we done with the job? Finished? Completed. Okay. And we make sure that this metering pump is the 5.4 with the pin 5.6. And how do we know which pin is there? Here's the metering pump. That's what the Air Royal metering pump looks like after about 10 years on the job. It's pretty dirty and old, but that's not how it comes with the burner. But the point that we need to know is that pin right here. Look at that pin. There was a number 56 pin that we needed. You got to make sure that that is the pin that's on the job. And on top of the metering pump, a little higher, right here, there are numbers, 5.4, 6.4, 8.4. That's another important number that you need to know. Please, it's very important. Anybody can tell me why it's important. This particular issue, why is it important? Todd? No. Anybody? Not the serviceman. Not a serviceman. Anybody on the installation crew? Not? Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Vin.
Welcome back.
Tell me.
The numbers have to coincide with the filing that the engineer filed.
Okay, and that is good. But there's a different reason.
Uses the right amount of gallons per hour. The right size pump for the equipment.
More. All of this information is the right information. So we need more reasons why it is so important.
The DAR pre-inspector doesn't get there till 3 days before the job, after it's too late to fix anything.
Thank you. By the time we get to the job, all we can do is cry that the pump is incorrect, is not as per plan. Between inspection and installation is about 4 months, and sometimes more than that. So we have an opportunity for 4 months to fix it, and we do not, because we don't know. Now, granted, the service technician who fires the job is responsible for that same thing. So there is no excuses that we did not know. That applies to you guys. When you get, I like that. Turn it around, yes. Okay? And we keep missing it. And the funny thing is, when the first person misses that, everybody else will miss it just the same. So, the first person who uncrates the burner, just take a look, write it down, tell the foreman what burner, or foreman accepts the burner, please write it down. What did you get? Confirm with the project manager. That's crucial information. Now we go into the plan. This is the plan that the engineer intend to have the burner installed and the boiler installed and the breaching installed. Guess what? The inspector wants to see it as per plan. Not the breaching on the other side of the burner here, or not to the right, not to the left. If he's showing the breaching going, facing to the right, we want to see it on the job. Ask the foreman, ask the project manager, is there plans available for this job? 99% they are. If they are not available, the job will be done, then the engineer will go to the job and will draw the plan as built. Okay? That's important. Ask for plans so you can build the job exactly the way they show. Sometimes they show a visual alarm at certain doors. Make sure that's where you put it. And sometimes they show oil pump in a certain location. I think that's wrong because they can't tell us where to put the oil pump in, but whenever you can, put the equipment the way it shows on the plan. Okay? We got the metering pump down. Now, when you get to the job, foreman, or you can send somebody on the roof, it's very important to check what? Chimney. Again, why? Same reasons as before. So we have time to correct the problem if there is a problem. This chimney is cracked, and we found out about it 3 days before the inspection. Why am I going back? Okay. Another interesting issue. You see this? This chimney? It says here, the chimney within 10 feet of the building structure to the center of the chimney must be 3 feet higher than the height of the structure. What does that mean? Will, get up a little. Stand up. Here's the building. I am the chimney. 5 feet. I'm supposed to be 3 feet taller than him. Is that possible? Go down a little. I'm kidding. Okay. Now it's perfect, okay? Now I am about 2 feet higher, 3 feet high. That's why they need extension to put on the chimney in order to accommodate this rule, because you really cannot move the building or the chimney. So, foreman, do you understand? 10 feet to the center of the chimney, 3 feet higher. You're going to remember this picture forever. Okay. Now, that's an interesting job. 6601 Broadway. Recently we had DER inspection. This is an electrical breaching. It's a three-way breaching. I have no idea how we did that. But we did. Yeah, 6601 Broadway. Interesting job. Has a problem with the draft, right? Why? This question keeps coming up. Anybody? Why would we have a problem with the draft? It's such a beautiful job. It's painted, it's lit, and it has a problem with the draft. What's wrong with it? Draft is a matter of flow. We have no flow here. As the boiler fires, it stops right here. Okay? So we have a barometric. Anybody see barometric? Bingo, right there on the bottom. Okay, that's a barometric. The breaching actually going up right there. That's where it enters into the chimney, into the base of the chimney. And then we didn't know where to put a smoke alarm, so we created this thing. I mean, I don't want to be a Monday quarterback, but this is 9 years old job. And we got away with it 3 times. And this time we didn't. Okay? So you got to make sure that whenever you get an opportunity to fix a problem before it becomes a problem, do it. What was the issue here? You see the boiler? How close this boiler is to the back wall? Probably you had a tube issue, or maybe you didn't. Or maybe it was just there, somebody put a pad in, too close, and you put a boiler in. Then you have to fit in the breaching. So look ahead and see the whole picture. Whenever you have a plan, that would be a great time to look at the plan and say, how do I want to put the boiler in order for me to foresee all of these little details. Again, from a DAR perspective. Yes, sir.
So you say for 9 years we had draft?
And we passed. No,
We never had draft?
we passed. Maybe inspector didn't really check it. Maybe he came in and we had it running low fire.
I know why you couldn't figure it out, because the draft holes in the back were covered by the wall. You couldn't get your tool there.
Things happen. You know, not everybody does their job 100%. And I have a feeling the other 6 years, they just didn't do their due diligence. Regardless, I had jobs with 20 years that we passed, and then somebody would point it out to us. What's wrong with this? We said, oh, okay. Now, this is an important aspect of the job that we do. This breaching is a new boiler job, and the breaching next to it is a water heater. Water heater is a gas-fired water heater. Our job is dual fuel, which means oil, gas. The rule says that the gas-fired breaching must be installed above oil-fired breaching. This is the job we have right now. We didn't test it yet. The inspector wasn't there yet. But that's what we have on the site right now. It's fixed? Thank you, Vin. Now, somebody brought it to my attention. I went to Vinny with it. I guess the guy, Sasha, Alfred, Hector. And it was fixed. Thank you very much. Now, we had the time. We corrected it.
Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you, Vin. Now, what is that? I'm sorry, what is it?
Clean out.
It's a clean out, where? I'm sorry?
Base of the chimney.
Base of the chimney. So number one, you have to make sure that you have a clean out at the base of the chimney. Number two, you have to look inside to see the condition. Now, we do look inside for different reasons now. We look for condition, for bricks, liner. We do look at it. But sometimes we look at it 6 months before we walk in and do installation. At the process of selling a job, we look inside. But when you come in, and 2 weeks from the point when you come in, we have to fire the job, you need to know ahead of the time what's inside of that. Should we clean the base of the chimney before we can fire? And that's about it. Few little points to help the service department to pass the job. And when you go through this list, well, you can have this list. If you want, we can just leave it, give it to you, and you can look through it quickly. And you can write down what fan are you putting in, what boiler, what burner. BODR stands for burner oil delivery rate, or boiler oil delivery rate, which means metering pump and the pin number. So you put that in, and then you go through all of this little checks. And when you're done with that, you give it to a foreman. Foreman, you can send it to me, you can fax it, you can drop it off. So at least we have it on record that yes, whatever we plan to do, it's on the job. And for now, that's all I'm asking. And thank you very much for listening.